the church, which has had a model for 2,000 years, basically of gathering in public or in homes, can't even gather in homes right now.
Yeah.
And you've been doing kind of a unique thing in your experience with church. I would just love to hear, what do you see God doing? What's happening? All of the things. So,
okay. All the things. Darren, dang. Great to see you. I'm so proud of you. There's this great Luke Skywalker line, really the only good part of The Last Jedi, where he and Yoda are watching the Jedi tree burn, and Luke just, I think it's Luke, yeah. He's talking about Rey, and he just says, we are what they grow beyond. And, when I think of you, when I think of John Mark, when I think of just this incredibly amazing and godly crew of men and women God is raising up, it's just super humbling to watch now and to be a student and to learn. I love what you're doing, my friend. So, COVID, baby.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we all can agree that it's just like the flu, and it's Bill Gates' plot to take over the world, right?
Yeah, put a microchip in people, right? Like that's.
So, and I'm sure anything I'm going to say, much smarter people than me have said and said better. But so I simultaneously feel two things, as we all do. On the one hand, there is a deep sense of lament. And as we talk a lot about, lament is a form of worship, an incredibly important but untaught skill and practice in our churches today. And but we grieve, but not as those who have no hope. And so there's this incredibly robust sort of sense of hopefulness that exists right alongside of the lament, right? This hope isn't naive optimism, hey, it's just going to be fine. It's not cliched Christianity, hey, God's in control. This is hope rooted out of suffering. This is not hope that moves around suffering, right?
Yeah.
So sitting in that combo of incredible lament for not just the virus, but for all of the dominoes, right? Everywhere we're seeing dominoes. But also sitting in this incredible sense of hopefulness and trying not to over spiritualize it or under spiritualize it, right?
That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
Because you're sitting here and you're like, you see pictures of LA and it's clear. You see pictures of Venice and you can see the sea life in the water. And, you have this sort of, it's funny that in the Old Testament, God made the land take a Sabbath, and there's just this sense of like, whoa, like Brene Brown has this thing she's riffing on where, she's talking about, I don't want to go back to normal because normal was hoarding and normal was harried and normal was consuming and normal, we don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
And so in a non-cliched, false optimistic way, there's a great deal to be hopeful about, while at the same time we're able to lament. And I don't know, I was never taught any of that, in seminary or kind of as growing up in the ranks as a young teacher.
How to lament, how to create space for the other side of the human condition, right? Which is clearly in scripture, but also in our evangelical, Christian world, it's like hype pop. Everyone's happy day. Like you show up, put on that face. Like, I mean, yes. Even like one of the comments that Alex and I have talked about is just this idea, like why, like women, why aren't you smiling? And how offensive.
Totally.
Like that projection that it is. So yeah, I think this is so helpful. So lament in this time is a huge gift.
So think about what we did. We as like the evangelical tribe that I'm most familiar with in California and other places, that sort of mega church approach to things.
I don't know what you're talking about. I planted a church out of one 10 years ago and found my like little secret passageway. So I don't have that, but I get you. I'm kidding.
No, a mega church is a mindset, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But I was watching all of these churches pivot to online, and many of them have already done so, but a lot were catching up. And I was struck with the juxtaposition between what I was feeling home, not able to gather, and the shiny, happy, Jesus singing hype train that was
Yeah.
on screen after screen after screen. And it's like, and in a way, and I know this is so bad, but this is your podcast, so I can say it. And I don't get in trouble.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so happy that the shallowness of that way of pursuing Christ is being exposed for what it is.
Yeah.
Like I've done that. I've been a purveyor of that. I am so glad to see that it just is hollow, and you're sitting there, and the stuff I've enjoyed participating in most online is the stuff that has zero production value, but it's just honest.
Yeah.
Right? And
well, it seems like there's, people have tried to manufacture authenticity, which has always been the currency of the next generation and the moment. And now all of a sudden it's like, you can't translate that when everyone's stuck at home. And then, all of a sudden you're watching like shiny, glitzing lights staged with an empty congregation, an empty stadium. But what's working is something like this, like people in their homes doing church, like pastors in their homes doing church with like a microphone and an iPhone going, this thing is going to keep going, guys. The COVID can't stop the move of God. I know what it feels like to be stuck in your home. And then all of a sudden the kid runs into the screen. You're like, yeah, we're all experiencing this, aren't we?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, there has never been a better opportunity to minister out of weakness. And not, the strength of the show. And it's just funny. I mean, we've been so Sunday centric and sermon centric for so long that our imaginations are just, well, let's put on the best show we can online. Yeah. And there are a few thinking outside of that, which is wonderful, but I think we're ill-equipped to sit in the juxtaposition of hope and grief at the same time. We only know one or the other, and one feels way more holy than the other. So we're sitting on Resurrection Sunday, and it feels like Good Friday, right? I mean, it's Easter's easy, baby, when the economy's great and you're going out to brunch and you can meet outside and the sun is shining. That's Easter's great when it's like that. But my goodness, Easter felt different. And I was like, maybe this is more like the real thing. It's like that first Easter Sunday, they were confused and lamenting and missing the point and arguing and doubting. And, come on, that'll preach.
You would have loved, I just side note, because we talked going up to Easter, because I would always call you, no doubt.
Oh, it was a great
the week before Christmas or Easter, I'm always like, these are the hardest sermons to preach. I love going to your office and you would just like, did you bring your computer? Yeah. Dumping off all of your content. Like for years, just dumping into my computer, just using your stuff. This year, I preached from Mark chapter 16, ended where it ends. Where they didn't say anything because they were afraid.
Brilliant,
right? Like you can't. That's the best Easter like text for what we're going through.
And the women went away and they were afraid.
Yeah, they're like frustrated. Peter's not even showing up. He failed so bad. So you got failure, frustration, and fear. What does the resurrection have to do with any of that? Everything. Come on.
Yes. Oh, dude. That might be one of the greatest Easter sermon ideas I have ever heard.
Come on. No,
Jesus took the wheel and steered it straight into that text. And man, that is awesome.